So what should you expect from a brake line repair video? Most brake line repair videos will show you how to make a new brake line, put it in, splice it, put another little scab piece in or something like that. That's the right way to do it, and that's the way you should do it. But we're going to show you that there is a way around that just for entertainment purposes. And you guys can watch in suspense, chew on fingernails and be like, ah, they're going to die.
Brian's Mobile One.
So don't try it at home, but do enjoy the video. I've got some helpful tips, including some epoxy tips and maybe an epoxy you haven't heard of before, but familiar name, a little bit different approach. Track bar, pan hard bar, either name.
Pan hard bar, okay. Yeah. This was an upgrade, an improvement, and so we're very excited. And now we would like to test drive it, but another development occurred. We have a hole in a brake line. Because apparently the person who had the vehicle before I did, they did a brake line repair. As you see, this is what it should look like is this, but it's that one that looks like it's, you know, like they run an extension cord illegally to set up a fan in the back of the shop or something. Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. And it sprung a leak. Let's see, where is it? Right here. You see.
It's a little pinhole.
Little pinhole leak. So we're gonna
see if we can source some new brake lines.
Yeah, we're looking around for brake lines, and hopefully we'll have that resolved, so that the vehicle will stop. So we'll steer now. So that's the first and most important safety issue, is we can steer the vehicle. But stopping the vehicle, that's the second most important thing. So we're going to address that one now.
Well, one more thing to do, and then we'll be able to drive it. Utah stores don't stock brake lines, so we had to order them in and do this in the meantime. To ensure a good surface, whether it's on the tube or even on the wire, we clean it first with some kind of solvent. Get all the oils off, because then the next step when we sand it, it can get everywhere and we'd just be spreading the oils around. So we get it to where there's no oil, then we sand it. I'm using 320 grit emery cloth, and I just think of it as having four sides. So I get two this way, 90 degrees, two this way. Get that side good, flip it around, do it again. Put a degreaser on it and just wipe it off. And that way all the dust that we created and all that loose material from sanding is also removed. This is literally the same stuff. It's the tan stuff, high strength structural adhesive. Prop touch and prop touch. Ideally, you'll never hit your prop on anything, but in reality, it hits. They've got the plastic weld, and then the black is what we used. There's just a whole line of these things, and they're so easy and nice to use, and you don't waste a lot of it. And you don't waste things that would otherwise be thrown away. This prop has, I don't know how many hours it has. You can see in the carbon fiber, there's a little hole there that I didn't patch. But even where it's really thin on the edge, and this is like hitting gravel and all that kind of stuff, this is really hard and brittle and beautiful. Look at that. But this is ugly, and it takes an impact a little bit better. And so that's what I do on my props. Instead of just throwing them away, I patch them with this, and they actually work better. So if I'm on a trip or something and I hit a little rock, it tends to absorb the shock with it without it falling apart or flying off. When I wrap the tape in it, it holds the epoxy in place so that it can dry without dripping and slagging and all that stuff. But also, as you wrap it around between the wire and all that, it forces it and compresses it into the wire. It's like when you vacuum bag carbon fiber parts, or when you wrap carbon fiber parts, or when you press them in between a mold. It just holds it in place while it's setting, and it causes it to just fill in every little thing, no air bubbles. So I use the clamp for the work light, stuck it on the lift, and you can see what we got here. All you can see is the electrical tape, and because it wasn't secured and vibrated so much, we went ahead and put it into this spot. The top holder tooth or finger, whatever, was gone. That was the problem. So we zip tied it down like that. So that should be chewy and durable. The line's not going to flex or move anywhere. Let's do this. So you can see where they cut the brake line off before for the rear brakes. It's still hanging out here. Just being sharp, waiting to poke somebody. The new brake line that somebody put on it was rubbing right there against the steering shaft. And it was actually making some pretty good progress at cutting the steering shaft, the input steering shaft off.
What the hell is this place? It's Celebrity Deathmatch, Sonny.
So there's a death match between no brakes and no steering going on right there, just out of ignorance. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to that. It's not leaking, but I'm going to go ahead and sand it and then do the same repair, just because there's material missing in the same fashion. This is why you got to be careful how you route your wires and how you route your brake lines. I was able to clean, pardon the cinematography here, I was able to clean it really well, and the epoxy, because I mixed it so much far ahead of where I used it, it was thick. I was able to get a good wrap all the way around the brake line. This one was not leaking. This is more than anything just a preventative measure. Better to do this than just ignore it.
Well, it still turns on, so we're excited about that. Of course, anytime you work on a car and you get something finished and you think, hey, look at that, we got it all done, we're finished. That's when you set yourself up for disappointment and frustration. So if you just always expect it to always go horribly bad, then you're excited when it still works. Woohoo!
All right, so
now we had the brake line issue, so we've addressed that with some creative repair work with JB Weld and wire, and genius. I think was
and tape
genius.
and tape.
And tape.
If you're using tape and baling wire and epoxy, what can go wrong, right?
Okay, we're getting we're squishy. We're going all the way on the brake.
All right, let me go check it.
Hello and welcome to 2 weeks into the future. As you notice, we were having some issues with the brakes. They were not functioning properly because they were squishy. Well, we kept bleeding and working through the whole system, one wheel at a time. We started at the furthest one away from the brake master cylinder. You start with that one first, and then work your way through. And yeah, it was just some air caught up in the lines. So it wasn't a big deal. We're also very excited that the brake fix is working. This was wire and is it JB Weld?
Yeah, it was the special kind of high bond stuff, the high PSI stuff that really holds on. Surface preparation is everything to that, for those at home, for their benefit.
Got to make it clean.
You got to have something to hold on to. If you grab onto a guy as you're falling off the cliff, he better be holding on to something. So if you glue to something that comes off, dirt, debris, whatever, then obviously that will come off with the epoxy.
Bonus footage at the end.